tonight. It's the third week of the school year, so how is the school cell phone ban going in School District 57? Plus, after months, the Quinn Street Recycling Depot, along with 2 others, have finally been reopened. And the annual Terry Fox Run was a big success over the weekend in Prince George. Good evening, folks. I'm Eddie Huband, and welcome to CKPG News. We begin tonight with another significant political announcement with some local impacts. The Conservative Party of BC has released the details of its forestry strategy ahead of the provincial election scheduled for October 19th. Leader John Rustad says it includes a big change when it comes to how we manage our forests. Here's more from Rustad on the announcement.
We're going to get rid of stumpage. We're going to go to a value-added tax on the end, which then will allow you to be able to do more with the fiber. So the more you can do, the more value you create, the more input credits that will be able to be generated. So it creates an incentive to do more with the fiber. We're going to designate an area that will be primary forest products. And so that'll be an area within our timber harvesting land base that will be dedicated for feeding the fiber that we need within our forest industry. We're also going to designate an area that will be for biodiversity values to make sure that we have that balance between our what we need for a forest sector and what we need for wildlife and for recreation and for other purposes. Next component that we're going to do as well is we're going to go to a single project, a single permit. So we're going to get rid of the layers of permitting that's in place. We're going to make sure that you can get permits in a timely way. Canfor is telling me it takes 3.2 years to get a permit up in Fort St. John, and it's between 2 to 3 years in Prince George to be able to get those permits. That is way too long. You need to be able to get things in a timely way to be able to have the investment we need in British Columbia.
The BC Coroner's Service announced it will hold an inquest into the death of Lindsay Taylor Izoni at the Prince George Courthouse beginning October 21st. Back on July 20th, 2019, Izoni's death was reported to the Coroner's Service following events involving the Prince George RCMP. The coroner's inquests are mandatory for any deaths that occur when somebody is detained or in the custody of an officer. This inquest will look into when, where, and how Izoni died, as well as how to prevent deaths in similar circumstances moving forward. She was 35 years old at the time of her death. Prince George RCMP, in partnership with School District 57, will host a town hall-style meeting for parents and caregivers this evening at Vanier Hall. The focus is online safety and sextortion. RCMP and Safer Schools Together representatives will both be speaking at this town hall. There's also going to be a question and answer period at the end of the presentations for those in attendance. Earlier this year, a similar type of meeting was held to give parents and caregivers an opportunity to come and learn from experts in the field of online safety and sextortion. The information session starts at 6 p.m. at Vanier Hall and will run for 2 hours.
If you attended our information session in January of 2024, we have updated information even from then. So just in 9 months, technology has changed again where we've had to adapt our presentation. This time we're going to be focusing heavily on artificial intelligence and how is that impacting our cases of online extortion, or what we call sextortion.
We've now entered the third week of the school year, which means students and teachers have had a little bit of time to get adjusted to the new provincial mandates surrounding cell phone restrictions in schools. So how has it been going so far? Tommy Osborne has more on the implementation of these rules and the students' thoughts surrounding them.
It's definitely a big change, but I feel like it's positive.
Class looks a bit different for School District 57 students this year, as it's now week 3 of the provincially mandated cell phone restrictions being implemented.
It was definitely a big shock finding out about it. It was a little unexpected. I feel like everyone in my class has been super respectful.
I haven't seen anyone have their phone taken away. I haven't seen any negative things in classrooms, although I have heard things from other people, but I think it's been perceived very well in classrooms at least.
SD57 says it's been working to have this cell phone and technology restriction implemented consistently across all schools, so it's known what to expect. The district says the early returns have been pretty positive.
K-7, our students do not have access to their phones at all during the course of the day. And I think, again, there's a freedom there. It lets kids be kids, it lets them play, it lets them focus and concentrate on other things. At our high schools, they still have access, outside of instructional time, but hopefully that is actually limiting some of their distraction and perhaps, helping build some better relationships and help them have better focus.
While some students support the cell phone restrictions and say it's been respected, that isn't to say all students agree.
People are like, what if my mom needs to call me? And there's definitely mostly been negative. I like to look on the positive side of things, but I think a lot of students are taking it negatively and are wanting the phones back.
Lots of people focus with music. I'm not one of them, but I know that lots of people do, and I think that is a very, very hard adjustment for them to have.
Other concerns include potential emergencies or things like ignoring the positive benefits of technology, like online learning resources. Beyond these concerns, there's also the most simple explanation: people just like their phones.
I can't say that it's like perfect, but I think that'll come with time and that'll get sorted out as it goes because it is such a new rule. But I have heard definitely some negative things of it and some negative side effects to it that I agree with too.
While it was expected there would be pushback against these restrictions, Aziz says implementation has been smooth and the feedback has been quite positive in the early parts of the school year. Tommy Osborne, CKPG News.
The Regional District of Bulkley-Nechako has lifted 2 evacuation alerts. The first is for the out-of-control Sabina Lake wildfire, first issued on September 5th. A total of 39 properties were affected by that alert. The second alert is for the Mount Wells wildfire, where 88 properties were impacted. After a 3-month pause, the Regional District has teamed up with Recycle BC and reopened 3 transfer stations. As Dave Branco tells us now, these stations are now capable of accepting various materials for the first time.
Now you can bring us your colored foam, your white foam.
And glass have now been added to the list of recyclable materials. There were limited places where residents could take foam and soft plastics, but the opening of these transfer stations created more options.
There are 2 depots in Prince George that do take those materials. We're a 3rd depot now that takes them. We know people like convenience, so we want people to make Quinn Street a stop when you're going out. If you're going out to do your groceries, you're going out to do your shopping, pop by here. We are now open 7 days a week, year-round.
Zaplin Tichney says that many recycled products stay within the province.
They get recycled and made into new product down at Merlin Plastics down in Vancouver. We know that there is a glass operation outside of Quesnel that reuses glass in a lot of their sandblasting operations and things like that. So there is end markets for these products, and by partnering with Recycle BC, it's about economies of scale.
The Regional District is making plans to open more sites to accept materials.
The program went away at the end of May. We did have, cardboard recycling or mixed paper recycling, cart recycling at numbers of our transfer stations. We've only reopened 3, and I know that might be a bit of a disappointment to some people, but we are looking at what other sites could become Recycle BC depots. And then long term, if we can't make everyone a Recycle BC depot, what is maybe an interim solution, or maybe we could offer like cardboard recycling at some of our smaller transfer stations. But really, when you are having to do those bigger things like the soft plastic, styrofoam, glass, coming into a bigger hub station where you can do those things, because we really need to maximize the amount of product that we're collecting at each site.
The layout of the Quinn Street Recycling Depot has been updated. Residents should follow the new signage and directions from staff when visiting the location. The Regional District anticipates high volumes at the site as residents are eager to take advantage of the expanded services. Dave Branco, CKPG News.
It was a busy weekend for events in the Prince George community. The annual Prince George Terry Fox Run took place on Sunday at Claytley Tenay Memorial Park. With more on the Canadian hero and his special connection with our city, here's Jane DeMello.
44 years ago, Terry Fox began the Marathon of Hope to raise money for cancer research, where he ended up running 5,373 kilometers over 143 days on one leg before cancer took his life at just 22 years old.
Cancer affects everybody, and he really brought it to the forefront and didn't make it a taboo topic to talk about, because it wasn't something you talked about. And he has inspired millions of people in the country, across the world, to keep going, to never give up on your dreams, and to just do it.
Though his legacy lives on throughout our entire nation, Terry has a special connection to the city of Prince George.
So in 1974, my grandpa started the Prince George to Boston Marathon, and he was the one in 1979 who said, yes, Terry, you can run in this race. And he actually told that to Rick Hansen too. And he rerouted part of the course for them so they didn't have to go up the staircase on Connaught Hill, and that includes the part that people are running on along Patricia Boulevard and along Taylor Drive. So the connection Prince George has to Terry Fox is incredible, because it's here that Terry said, yes, I am ready to start my Marathon of Hope as early as April. And to have that connection to a Canadian hero is something that we should all be proud about.
Sylvia took over as the lead organizer for the event shortly before last year's run and has seen incredible growth already.
I'm speechless. Last year, the run came together in less than 2 weeks, and we had about 100 participants. And this year, I'd say we're pushing probably 300 participants. And it was just incredible watching everyone walk down Taylor Drive, and it was just a mob of people.
Not only has the participation skyrocketed, but the donations gathered for the Terry Fox Foundation have as well.
For online donations, we're over 5,000 now, and I have no idea how many donations we've had on site today. So we have crushed our fundraising goal, we've crushed our participation goal. I'm so happy.
Over the past 4 decades, the Terry Fox Foundation has raised more than $900 million and counting to bring hope and healing to generations of cancer patients. Jaden DeMello, CKPG News.
The Prince George Regional Kerala Cultural Association put on their biggest event of the year on Saturday. Jaden DeMello, big festival guy, he went to check things out and brings us the story.
Onam is the biggest and most important festival in the Indian state Kerala, and Prince George's celebration at First Baptist Church this weekend didn't disappoint.
Close to 400 people, and it's a it's a traditional celebration. It's in the state of South India state of India. It's like mainly like a harvesting festival. So that's what we are celebrating today.
Though Prince George hosted the annual event, it isn't just attended by the people of PG.
It's a joyous moment to everyone. Like all peoples come for this event. Like no matter what.
The celebration is typically celebrated during the month of August or September, but Onam means so much more.
It marks the homecoming of the mythical king Mahabali, who reign remembers as the golden era of prosperity, harmony and well-being. The festival spans 10 days, with most important day being the Thiruvonam. We kind of celebrate this event as kind of a Thiruvonam. And Onam is known for its grand celebrations, including traditional rituals, flower, Rangolis called Pookalam. It's kind of a flower carpet, as you have seen here. Then obviously a grand feast. It's known as Onam Sadhya. It's a grand feast with almost 20 dishes served in a traditional plantain leaf. And we celebrate it as as an opportunity to unite, an opportunity to meet and greet everyone once in a year.
Onam became the national festival of Kerala in 1961, and 63 years later, their tradition is still going strong and being celebrated around the world. Jaden DeMello, CKPG News.
As of this morning, the lowest gas price in Prince George was sitting at $1.52.9 per liter at Costco. The lowest price in the province as of this morning was in Vernon at $1.48.9 per liter. Manitoba has the lowest fuel prices on average in Canada at $1.30.8 per liter. BC, meanwhile, has an average price of $1.67.5 per liter.
CKPG Sports is delivered by Domino's. Join the Domino's Lunch Club with 25% off all regular price pizzas every day. Visit domino's.ca to join the club.
There was plenty of local sports action and teams playing this past weekend. So here's Jaden DeMello to break down all the matchups in our weekend sports recap.
The Prince George Cougars played a home and away with the Kamloops Blazers to wrap up their preseason. The Cats dropped Game 1 2-1 with Jet Lajoie scoring the lone goal and Brady Holtvogt stopping 36 of 38 shots he faced. In Game 2, the Cougars played in front of a packed Quesnel crowd, but would end their preseason winless, dropping that one 3-1. They open up their regular season campaign this Friday for a back-to-back against the Spokane Chiefs at the CN Center. The Spruce Kings also wrapped up their preseason with a doubleheader this past weekend. In their first game back at Copart Memorial Arena this fall, newly appointed captain Lyndon Mako opened the scoring against the Langley Rivermen, but would concede the next two and lose the game 3-2. On Saturday, the home team found themselves in a different position, coming back from a 1-goal deficit and taking that match 3-1 to split their final weekend of preseason action. They kick off their regular season this Friday in Surrey against the reigning Fred Page Cup champions, the Surrey Eagles. On the football field, the Kodiaks played their penultimate home game at Massage Place Stadium. Unfortunately for them, they were up against the undefeated Okanagan Sun, and though they did manage to outscore the opposing side in the second half, they lost their 7th straight, 37-6. Following a bye week after this match, the Kodiaks have just 2 games remaining, both against the Kamloops Broncos, and will play their final home game on September 28th. The UNBC women's soccer team played their first 2 home games of their Canada West campaign. In the home opener and the Empower Day game, Kate Ratty scored the opening goal for the Timberwolves, but after conceding 2 second-half tallies, they would drop it 2-1 to the TRU Wolfpack. In Game 2 Sunday on Pride Day at Massage, Blake Plummer scored the only goal of the game in the 74th minute, as their marker would stand as the winner over the UBCO Heat with a 14-save shutout by Britton Hinshaw. They're back at home next Friday against the Fraser Valley Cascades. On the men's side, they capped off their season-long 6-game homestand with 2 tough results. Despite scoring a season-high 2 goals on Friday, they allowed 6, dropping that one 6-2 against the Calgary Dinos. On Sunday, they were able to claw a goal back from a 2-0 halftime deficit thanks to an Isaac Tate penalty, but would concede 2 more and fall 4-1 to the McEwen Griffins. Next up for them, a date with the Mount Royal Cougars as they search for their first win on the season to wrap up this weekend's CKPG Sports Recap.
The TSX is up 133 points to close at 23,702. The Dow Jones is up 228 points to close at 41,622. And Artemis Gold went up 19 cents to close at $13.30.
Good evening again, everyone. We've got a few showers potentially in the mix overnight tonight and maybe lingering into parts of our day tomorrow as we see this big system coming in from the north coast. But certainly it wasn't a bad day out there today, and we do have some sunshine to talk about for the middle of the week as well. So there's our satellite as we look back, but here's the look ahead. And again, really not too bad until sort of the overnight or early morning where we have a chance of showers. And this is a really strong frontal system, really spreading a lot of rain showers along the north coast. Prince Rupert especially seeing several millimeters of rain falling. So for us, it's just a chance. We kind of get clipped by that system as it pushes inland, but it does lose some steam. So we won't have a lot of heavy showers, but definitely a chance in there for our Tuesday right through most of the day and into the evening. Then a break in behind that where we have some sunshine again for Wednesday. And then the next real system that we're watching is likely going to be Thursday night, particularly Friday. So that's looking a little far ahead, but here's what to expect for tomorrow. 17 our high. We'll have cloud cover with a chance of showers really right through the day, and the temperature's a little bit cooler across the board. 18 in Fort St. John, some cloud cover. Wasn't too bad there today, although gusty. And then you can see temperatures and conditions are still lovely down through the southern interior in the Okanagan. But yes, we're seeing some of that frontal system spreading south. So along the south coast, will be quite unsettled with some rain showers as well. Cooler up in Mackenzie, 15 degrees, clouds and showers for the most part. Burns Lake looking at 16 degrees as well, and showers on and off. McBride not too bad, a little bit milder at 21 degrees. So a wet one along the west coast, as you can see on our map. 23 in Edmonton with sunshine tomorrow. Not as much sunshine in Regina tomorrow as there was today, but temperatures are holding nice and mild. 26 in Winnipeg, and then as we go further east, it almost looks like and feels like summer in many areas. Montreal almost 30 degrees for a daytime high tomorrow, and sunny sky. The same down through Toronto. Halifax picking up some beautiful temperatures as well, about 26 or 27 degrees with sunny skies. So the eastern half of the country, along the east coast even, seeing some really beautiful weather. So midweek, we have a sun cloud mix returning. So Wednesday will be a bit of a drier and sunnier day as we see a ridge building back in, and then we're watching another system for later on into the week. We do have some cooler air though moving in, and you can see the temperatures are dropping just a little bit. 16 for the day in Burns Lake tomorrow. Rain, but particularly in the early half of the day, and then a chance of showers through the afternoon. Chance of showers tonight. There's some sunshine for Wednesday. We're back to a cooler and cloudier trend for Thursday. In Mackenzie, clouds and rain showers are possible tonight and into parts of the day tomorrow, but we see the temperatures bump up a little bit on Wednesday. We have some sunshine returning for really the middle and end of the week. McBride down to +1 tonight, so cold overnight, 21 tomorrow. tomorrow, though. Beautiful temperature. That might be the warmest of our region. Mostly cloudy. Few sunny breaks are still in the mix, though, and you've got a little bit more sunshine on Wednesday, although cooler temperatures at around 18 degrees. Overcast skies tonight in Quesnel. We've got showers through the afternoon tomorrow, and then back to a nice dry pattern and a warmer one on Wednesday. So very similar here in Prince George. We're down to 9 tonight for an overnight low. 17 tomorrow. Clouds and showers, at least the chance is there pretty much overnight tonight and in through most of our day tomorrow. We get the sunshine returning on Wednesday, though. Temperatures back up to about 19 degrees.
Hello from the CKPG Today side. Got a cool one coming up over here. A little bit of yoga if you're interested in that kind of thing with the one and only Terry Cashmark from Build Your Mind, Body, and Soul. And yeah, it's a really relaxing session that we got to take part in there. So I'm hoping you can relax and enjoy while we do that. And also, we're going to educate you on the show about berries. Now, there's a lot of them around. I don't recommend picking the ones, you know, beside the garbage dump or anything like that. But there are some great berry spots in town, wherever you go walking, hiking, they're out there. And you can turn them into great products like a freezy, which we're going to enjoy on the show today. But you know what? I got to ask you on this side, what's your favorite kind of berry? Huckleberry, blueberries, mountain ash? What is it?
Yeah, apparently Caden spends a lot of time picking berries next to the dump. But to answer your question, I'm going to have to go with raspberries, Caden. I love raspberries. But to finish up our show, the PG Animal Rescue has a whole hen house of showbirds up for adoption. Sam Bennison has more on this week's Forever Friends.
The Prince George Animal Rescue has 6 Brahma roosters, all looking for a new home.
They're what would considered a heritage breed of chickens. So they are a Brahma chicken, and surprisingly, they lay a tiny little egg. Very small egg, considering that they look so big.
These roosters were brought in through the BC SPCA, and the Gentle Giants would be a perfect show breed for anyone in 4-H.
They look gorgeous. They have the feathers on their feet, which is something very different, you know, compared to the other breeds of chickens. And as a purebred, they have all of their feet are covered in feathers. So that is one of the bigger things. And just because they're such a massive breed, something different.
Redpath notes that adding an extra rooster to a flock comes with plenty of difficulties, but says that these birds are up to the challenge.
Come save them. It's very hard to get. Once somebody already has a rooster, it's nobody wants another rooster. So, but I think with these guys being as gentle as they are, it worked with, I got to keep one of this flock and have that in with all my other birds and my own rooster. So, and our little rooster has a lot of attitude, and they just got along perfect. So I think they could incorporate that into their flock.
If you would like to adopt any of these charming chickens, visit the PG Animal Rescue website. Sam Bennison, CKPG News.
All right, folks, that's all for now. Thank you so much for joining us as always. Caden Fanshaw, he's up next with the Today Show. Tommy Osborne at 6:30. And remember, folks, all we have to decide is what to do with the time that's given to us. Have a great night. See you tomorrow.